It doesn't take many of those guys to make a good meal for a trout. Yeah, that's one way you can tell when the bugs are around is you just look at those gulls. And I don't know how they know, but they always know when the big insects are coming off because they just show up. So you ready to get the boat in there, Todd? You think there's still some fish that haven't been covered?
Oh, I do, and I think that's why that's honestly why I've got you on with a red belly.
All right, makes sense.
Oh, you saw that?
I did. I think he was eating one of those little stones.
He may have been.
I could try one more shot on
pretty
him.
good, pretty aggressive rise though.
Yep.
Our anglers started with some big stuff and got smaller as the afternoon progressed. A big dry and smaller dry, or a dry and nymph combination, are popular choices if you can't make up your mind.
I'll tell you what I put on. I put a little size 16 no hackle that I've had work really well over the times with these kind of hatches, but I can't see it, especially from the boat. So I've got a yellow Sally, I mean, not a yellow Sally, I got a golden stone on, I can see.
I mean, you can look out here right now and see, you can see Sallies flying by us, you can see the golden stones, PMDs going, there's a lot of those dark caddis on the water.
Yeah. Oh, that was one. I think I've already scared most of these.
Oh, there you go. There we go.
That one took the big fly again, though, didn't he?
He took the chubby. A good fish?
No, you know, he's what I'd call an average South Fork fish that you can expect to catch. Fairly common, you know, 12, 14 incher.
Beautiful caddy.
Yep.
Bulldog pretty good, don't they?
Well, yeah, he does, especially when looks like I got him hooked in the cheek. So
well, that'll teach him.
Makes him
What happens when you eat with your cheek?
These cutthroats over here is how much variety there is in their coloration. I want to show you this one as soon as I can get him unhooked. He's really fine spotted, see that?
Yep.
You'll catch some of these cutthroat that have big heavy spots and not a lot of spots on them. I was thinking about casting all the way over there, but it's my little mayfly floating along. You know,
there, that was you, Mike.
Yeah, little guy. But here he comes. Another cutthroat. The river's just loaded with these guys, isn't it?
Yep.
I mean, this is what would you say this fish is? A 2-year-old fish?
Probably.
Slide you in here. Well, okay, you're gone. Look at those PMDs floating along there.
Yep.
There he is. That's another pretty nice fish, Todd. This may be the one that puts me back on the oars, damn it. It's a nice fish.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, there's a big fish eating down there. He's eating. That's a 3-weight fish. See him?
Yeah, yeah, I see him.
They're eating little mayflies. I think I need to put the 3-weight on. We ought to just take a minute and see if we can. Oh, over there, they're just laying it. They're all over out here.
Yep, and some big ones.
On a day like this, as you can go and fish streamers and do real good. You can fish big stones, do good. And then you can get as technical little dry fly fishing as you can anywhere.
Yeah, there's so many. That's the thing I really like about the South Fork is there's so many faces to it. It's not I think there's something here for anglers of all skill levels.
There is, because I've found it when you get in the, I don't know what tip it's on this, do you?
4?
4. I think you just got to put it on them. I mean, it's...
And that was on them.
Yeah, but I mean, when they're ready to rise, it's...
Oh.
This is Henry's Fork stuff here. This is like... It doesn't happen all at once. I mean, but I think you're right. I think it may be a...
Oh, look at that.
See, that was on that one.
No, it wasn't. I watched it the whole way. Oh, there he is!
I do. I think you just have to be persistent with them. And there's a stonefly. Now on the 3-weight, this is a little more of a tug. He's everything you want on a 3-weight, that's for sure.
See what he's doing right now is he's running through this whole spot telling all of his buddies to
steer out of here.
Sit down, don't rise. He's saying to everybody, eat nymphs.
But don't go down there, please. But he's another really nice cutthroat. It is great seeing these cutthroats. He's coming.
Oh, beautiful fish,
He's a
Mike.
heavy fish. Look at the girth on him.
Beautiful fish.
Better fish than I thought he was.
Yeah, he's a pretty fish.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Bright cut on him. I mean, these are precious. They're just precious.
Yep. So basically now the river's going to really start opening up. So there's going to be a lot of different side channels down through here, and a lot of. Oh.
You had one, right?
Yeah, it was a good fish.
These channels, sometimes just floating and fishing, but then if you can find a place to get out and wade, that's the most fun wading in the whole river, I think.
Yeah.
Try this other side too. See right on that drop off? Ooh, I like it. See, I like that a lot. It's too bad the fish didn't like it. See right over here where this is dropping off?
Uh-huh.
Let me roll you up there. That's the kind of water that I found can be pretty good too. It's right, see up there where that's coming off the grass?
Uh-huh. You know, the river's going to shallow up quite a bit, so we're going to find a lot of good ripples to fish.
In the middle of this run, you'll find the aptly named Falls Creek Fall. It is easily the most photographed place on the river and is a postcard image that is hard to forget. If you use it as a vantage point, you have a broad view of the richness of the angling opportunities in this stretch.
You come up that Snake River Road, they call it, that goes up past the falls, and you're gonna find a lot of that where you don't even really need a boat. You're going to see a lot of this type of water like what you're seeing right here. Nice shallow ripple with drops on it. And it's this is kind of why the upper is one of my favorite stretches, because there's just so much of this type of water up here. So now it's got to be closing in on 7 o'clock, and we're coming to the takeout. And honestly, if these bugs would have cooperated with me a little bit, generally about this time is when you start seeing a pretty good number of caddisflies that start hatching.
I think the quality of the fish today was good. They were real nice fish. They were the kind of fish that you come to the South Fork to try to catch.
That's right. A lot of just good, healthy fish. They are just not eating this evening.
Well, you know, they ate so good today, they're probably sick of eating.
It might be what it is.
In Idaho, the stream access laws are very liberal, and you can stay within the high water mark, and when the water's low, like in the fall, you can walk the whole river.
That's right. It's such a different river, it's hard to imagine, but the bait slingers are standing out here and they've got campfires going in the fall. There's a couple different accesses. There's one up past the falls there, and then there's, you'll spot them as you're driving along the road. It's there's about 3 good spots where you can get out and really wade the river, and the side channels pretty effectively from the road.
I'm going to go across and see if I can keep from sinking us.
Okay.
There is a short section between the Spring Creek and Conant boat accesses that we didn't have time to float on this trip. It is only about 2 miles, but there is some excellent water to fish here. There is limited BLM bank access on both sides. If you're looking for a short float, it would be hard to do better than this run.
Anyway, so there's not a real big salmon fly hatch this year, but I always like to have a few of those this time of year, just in case you see a few, and tucking them in tight on the bank. And then all these golden stones, all this foam stuff, you hear sometimes that the Chernobyl ant was invented here on the South Fork, and they're real effective. You can, you want to cast them in real tight and then kind of just skate them out towards the boat, and you can get some pretty vicious strikes with them. So and a lot of this stuff, if you're fishing it right, you're going to go through a dozen or two in a day easy, because you really have to tuck them in tight.
Yeah, and I think, I got to tell you, I think some of those guys on the Green River would take exception that the Chernobyl was invented here. But whatever, there's all kinds of variations of them, and just to pull one out of there. The thing that's great about a fly like this is it really creates a lot of movement on the water, and these stone flies, a lot of them they don't really get on the water purposely, do they? They end up falling in or blowing in, and so they're trying to get off, and they're usually pretty active, and it's a good way to get a big trout to come out, especially if he's under an undercut bank, or even down off of a drop off by a riffle, to get him to come up out of deeper water. It's a pretty exciting fishing. I love fishing those big things along the banks. One thing I was going to ask you before we leave those is you also have over on this end a bunch of hopper patterns and cicadas, and it's pretty early for hopper, so you just are using those as another form of a stonefly imitation, you think?
I do. Yep. These grand hoppers here they're first off, they're really buggy looking, but you can fish these just like you'd fish one of these. And they have that kind of that silhouette of a golden stone, so they're real effective. Honestly, from the 1st of July all the way through into September, you can fish that grand hopper.
One thing that I wanted to mention too is that I find quite intriguing about this river is once I heard from somebody that tailwaters don't have stoneflies too much, and this river probably has more varieties of stoneflies than any river I've ever been involved with. You basically have some kind of stoneflies going on clear into the fall, don't you?
That's right. Yeah, we'll have we start the year out with the squala stones. You'll generally see those early May, and all the way through May until the water gets too high. And then following that, when that water temp gets up around 55 degrees, and then you'll have the big salmon flies, like you see here. And then immediately following them, you have the big the big golden stones. And then and we'll see these big goldens, the big adults like this, the full winged ones, until about mid to late August. And then we also have this little mutant golden stone, and that's really where this fly kind of got its reputation, because they don't have a full set of wings like you see, like some of the ones we'll see today. So that mutant golden stone, as we call it, basically just skitters across the top of the river, and they really make quite a disturbance as they're running across the top, and I think those fish key in on that. That's why this fly is just so successful.
I know that the South Fork of the Snake has a wide variety of mayflies and caddis hatches and little stoneflies too, but the real bread and butter is the pale morning dun, isn't it?
That's right. We get a on a year like this where we have plenty of water and that water temperature is constant like it's going to be this year. You're going to see the PMDs. There's going to be droves of them.
I'm looking into your fly box here, and in reality, even though there's a lot of different patterns in there, and I can see some beetles and a few little flies that imitate ants over here and some blue wing olives and stuff, but a lot of these do imitate various stages of the pale morning dun mayfly, and I've found it in my own experience fishing this river is that these fish can get quite selective. You think about, first of all, I think cutthroat trout sort of have a reputation of being pretty gullible and easy to catch, but I've found some of them to be tremendously challenging, and you'll also find some real good sized brown trout and rainbows as well in these riffles, and this river gets a lot of pressure, and so a lot of people are trying to fish the same riffles, and they're using basically the same kind of flies, so we're trying to cover all of the different stages we can, because you might find especially one particular fish might just be eating emergers, and so you're going to have to pick out an emerger. So I think this is a great box because you've got, there's some little parachutes here, and these are kind of a sparkle dun to imitate the dun. Here's some bigger parachutes here, but then we've also got some spent wing spinners, and we've got some emergers over here, and just enough to cover that whole thing. And we find the right fish, you might be going through a number of flies.
That's
trying
right.
to catch that fish.
That's exactly right, because you're just like you said, and our PMDs over here, they're predominantly pink, but we also have some of the yellow ones like you see over on the Henry's Fork. And I've seen fish keyed in on yellow PMDs when there's thousands of pink PMDs around. And then just like you said, having every stage of that life cycle covered is very important over here, because if they're eating emergers, they're not gonna touch the duns, and it really frustrates a lot of people that come over here. But the thing you have to do on this river, if you're having one of those days on a riffle where they're not eating your flies, is you just got to keep going through and really pay attention to what's happening on the water, and it's going to really help your success. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll put a dun on, and then right behind it I'll fish a little emerger like this. And 9 times out of 10 they'll eat that emerger.
But that you're putting that dun on partly just using it for an indicator.
That's right. Sometimes they'll eat it too, but that's the main reason I have it on there. If that thing twitches at all, then set the hook, and you're in the money.
So you like to put the emerger pretty close to the dun, maybe within a foot, and that way, if you see a rise close to the dun, you want to tighten up.
That's right.